Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome to all the guests. Big simcha in the family. Biggest mazel tov, lididenu, hamafor, my official. He doesn't like when we call him Mereinu Harav. That could be from the Meduras official Shas. The regular Simchas Habris. Today is the bris. Last night or tonight in America, the Wachnacht. Mark Ashkenazi, Midyas Klan. Baltimore satellite now 2 times per week. Rabbi Isai, check it out. The satellite location, Motzei Shabbos and Sundays. And then goes Mondays. You know how it goes. Torah is addictive. There's a guy by the name of Rabbi Yankiv Fraber from Petach Tikva who uses the slides from the shir, and he has a very nice shir going. Check it out. Oh, I like this one. We're starting Perek Behema Amaksho. Animal that has a problem giving birth.
מספיק עם התירוצים. עכשיו זה זמן לקושיות.
Today's just questions.
היום מתחילים בהמה המקשה.
All right. Now, you guys are not so interested in this, but my good friend Reb Noam Fix and Avi Kamiansky are. This is special for them. Check it out on that screen. Oh! That's me walking. Yeah. Nobody, not a single person was there. Mendy, you told me to go to this place. This is my favorite place. My favorite. I like this place. Check this out.
Okay, Rebelli, you're not going to believe what you're about to see. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Give a look at this crazy siyum for Meselas Menachos that was put together. There are wines over here that are just as old as your father, Rebelli. And it's all from this Heilige Yid. Do you remember? I'm sure he does, right?
It's a big chizuk, this thing.
From Southside, from the smokehouse in Lakewood. So he and I, together, by the Siyum, by the Shabbaton, decided that Meselas Menachos, we're going to message each other every day to keep each other accountable. And 110 blot later, we kept on going. And then another 50 blot now in Chullin that we kept on going. Oh, right, we're at Samach now. Every single day. He sends me pictures and I send back. Every single day. This is the scene from Meselas Menachos. Wish you were here. L'chaim, l'chaim. To all of Shas. Everybody say Amen. Amen. L'chaim.
So every single day, he sends in a picture. This is what we need to do. We need to have more people that have a chavrusa shab with somebody. They decide whether or not they can help somebody else. Do the daf every day by sending pictures, by being on top of them. One more. I gotta. Here we go. Check this out, Rabbi Isai. There was a guy that brought a drone and he had a license to fly it, and he left, and I asked him if he could lend it to me. He said, no problem. I said, it's good for the shear. He says, okay, good. No. Yeah, this might be the same place. Yes, it is the same place. Same road. This is also the same place. Hold on, here, right over here. Just cows everywhere and water and shmak. I'm asking shmak. We came up that it's a chiyuv derais that they go at least once a year to instill the musik of Gan Eden, the mashal of Gan Eden. Okay, very good. We're going to jump into the official edition of MDY Shas, making a bris today, Masechta Zevin Yal Shulov Perek Yitzi Hollander, the Nishmas Sortzira Bas Dov Ber Shkoyach Reb Yitzi. Daf Samaches, Nisim Akilov, the famous Nisim in honor of the Akilov family. The Masechta is sponsored by David Salomon, dedicated memory of Avimori, Reb Shmuel Baruch. Benny, tell him to change this top thing. Sheer sponsors, take that out. It should just be the Masechta sponsor. I don't know what sheer sponsor means. Reb Shmuel Baruch Bereb Chaim Tzvi Doiz Ruchon Levracha. The Masechta sponsored here, like this, Masechta. The Palchik Family Foundation, may our Limat Torah during the 3 weeks bring us closer to Yimei Geula V'Simcha. Anonymous, Hatzlacha Baruch Nizav Gashmias, and thank you to Chief Benny, Shmuel Over Schuster for Katina Hatzlacha and Nachas from our children. Anonymous for complete refuah shleima and arichas yom to Leah Bas Esther, Binyamin Daniel Rosenfeld, Brias V'Simcha. Anonymous, L'nishmas Yonatan Eitan ben Mordechai Zev HaKohen Zechron Levracha, the Tzviz. L'nishmas Yonatan Eitan ben Mordechai Zev HaKohen Zechron Levracha. By Irish Simon, for Shleima Avi Mari Baruch Ben Miriam, weekly. The Spanish Shir sponsored a big refuah shleima with a close friend, Neftali Herz Ben Chayed Pesia. Daily, Yaniv Blazer with abundance of gratitude to Hashem on our family making Aliyah today. Mazel Tov. Naftali Krause is not here anymore, that's it. MDY art for the month. Oh. L'refuah shleima, Mordechai ben Esther. L'refuah Hayel Daniel Zev ben Hayel Esther. Let's go back to slide 25. Here we go. The Masechta is sponsored by David Salomon, already fixed. Yishkoyach Mark. All right, here we go. We're starting a brand new parak. So here's a question. We're going to be dealing with this question. By the end of today, you'll have the answer if you don't know the answer. If you know the answer, that means you learned this already. So don't even try. How's it possible that an animal is walking around, you bring him into the slaughterhouse and you shecht him, and you're allowed to eat the entire animal besides its left front leg? The left front leg is mamish asur to eat. How's it possible? So that's what we're going to be discussing right now. Doesn't matter. Either or. The leg, the front, the back, the right, the left. One of them is completely asur to eat. That's today's sugya. We are actually continuing. They explain, we're talking about elu treifas. These are treifas, so we're continuing with the type of a treifa. We're discussing the famous halacha called Ben Pekua. Ben Pekua is a fascinating halacha here. I'll show you, I'll remind you this. It's an older video, but it's should be a classic. So what happened here? There's a cow that was pregnant and she had a shechita. That shechita works on the fetus. You don't have to shech the fetus. We're going to see if they walked around, maybe like in this video, maybe there are abundance also to eat. But the baby, you're allowed to eat without a shechita. I'm going to say it again. I love saying this. So there's a true story in Australia. They try to come up with a new shtick that you're allowed to eat every single animal. You don't need you don't need a hechsher at all. How? If you take a ben pekua, a male fetus and a female fetus from two different animals, let's say, and you start a whole new breed of children of bnei pekua. They all don't need a shechita. So if they don't need a shechita, you don't care if there's a sircha on the lung, if there's a hole in the heart. You just go and slaughter it any way you want. You could shoot it with a gun and you could eat it. And of course, someone stopped it. You know, there's not going to be an issue with hechsherim and who knows what. They stopped it. But it was a true thing. Years ago, a guy started this in Australia. Nice chap. So, here's the thing. So, did you go weiter and adopt him and no, the puns? It's just automatic. It's on the spot. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fine. Know what? What do you say? That he did on the spot. Yeah. So, Geschmack sugi today. Seriously, good stuff. What do we have here? Oh, Naftali's here. Naftali. Behema mekasha leilad. The Mishnah just tells us the background of the story. It's not important. animal had a hard time giving birth. I thought this was cute because yesterday I was on a roll to start insulting as many people and many the chayrim. A lot of these, a woman comes to her husband, she says, I don't understand something. Why do I need to work? You're in Kailul. It says, this is on you. This is on you. So he said, listen, the reason why I'm saying this is because it says, Behema amak shaleilah. And they say, I mean, it's a curse on the woman. The woman has be'etzev till dibanim, but animals don't have such a problem. But this is a oisnam. It once happened that the animal was mak shaleilah. But that threw me into the thing. I'll just share with you. So Mardik, she says, you have the chiyuv of bezeh sapech lechem. Why do I have to go work? She said, listen, I figured since you already took away one pasuk, the pasuk of hu yimshal bach, he should rule you. So you might as well take the second pasuk also. Fine, I'll call upon him. Shtei dazoi. Which, if I'm already saying Israeli jokes, this thing, behema maksha. No, they said this thing in Shiftan, not a single person laughed in the Hebrew. I thought, I like this, I have to say it. So a Magichir, nobody laughed. A Magichir told his student, he says, you're asking such kashas, where'd you get your kasha from? From Perik behema maksha? Because actually it could go both ways. The animal that, he says, no, in fact, I saw the kasha in Ashoyel Sapara. Something Gemara. Okay, now that we're there already. We're back. It's more for the Israelis. Givaldic. Today is Shosh Nagach. Listen to this story. The animal's having trouble giving birth. And the fetus stuck its hand out. Now, we're talking about a ben pekua. The shechita of the mother works on the fetus. You don't have to shech the fetus. You're allowed to eat the fetus. I'm going to spare you the video, that they have video of it, a real live shechita, and they found this uber. We're going to spare that. We have another one. We have our own. We don't need theirs. So, if everything would remain in the mother, then the shechita works. The problem is, something came out. Now, it depends what part of the animal came out. The leg, the foot, the hand, or the head. Big difference. Because if the hand of the animal comes out, then that hand didn't have a shechita. So if the hand remained outside of the animal and then we did a shechita, of course the shechita doesn't work on the hand. The thing is, the animal brought its hand back in. And then there was a shechita. What does the Mishnah say? Let's read together. Mutter ba'achila. What's mutter ba'achila? What? The hand or the animal? The animal? So then what's the difference? So why does it say that it brought its hand back in? And if the hand remained outside, you're not allowed to eat the animal. We have to be medayik in all the words. It seems like it seems like the hand is mutter b'achila. That's how I would learn it. Because if it's the whole animal, then I don't care if the animal took its hand back in. It's not going to help me. If you can't eat the hand, why does it say that it brought the hand back in? You can't eat the hand whether it remained outside or brought back in, according to what you're telling me. Mutar b'achila l'chayr means the whole the hand also. The animal inside for sure, but the hand also. But the Mishnah makes an afkamina. Haitzi is roishay. But if the animal stuck its head out, head is different. Head is like a complete birth. Once an animal is born, you can't put it back in its mother and shech the mother and say, oh, it's a ben pekua. It was born, finished. Haitzi is roishay. Once it stuck its head out, av b'shech zero, even if it pulled its head back in, harei ki yolod, it's already born. The shechita of the mother doesn't help the fetus. Chaytech mu'ubar shebimeyel. What if you cut a body part off surgically, stick a knife in, you cut a leg off from the animal while it's still in utero, in the inside, and it remained inside, but it's not attached to the baby anymore. It's a dangling leg somewhere inside the mother. The shechita works. Mutar b'achila, you're allowed to eat it. Why? It's no different than the lungs of the mother. But here's the tremendous chiddush. if you were to chop off the lung of the mother and it remained inside, and then you did shechita, you wouldn't be able to eat the lung afterwards. Why? That would be Eiver min achai. Shalom Aleichem. Rabbi Schuster. Oh. So the Mishnah gives a different example. Minat choyel minat kloyos. These are organs that if you do cut out, the animal won't die. So it's not a treifa. And you take the spleen, you cut the spleen and you leave it inside. You take one of the kidneys, you cut one of them off and you leave it inside. Also b'achila, you're not permitted to eat that kidney after you shech the mother. Why? Because the kidney is Eiver min achai while the animal's alive. When I cut the kidney, you're not allowed to eat that kidney that minute. It's Eiver min achai. So just because you left it inside the animal and you did shechita to the mother, we're talking about the kidney of the mother, not the kidney of the baby, yeah? Nachamol. Let's start over. I'm starting again. If you cut the lung of the mother and you cut the kidney of the mother, forget, she's not even pregnant. We have an animal that's not pregnant. You cut one of the organs and the organ remains inside. At that moment that you cut the organ, it's Eiver min achai. Eiver min achai, you can't make mutter. There's no such thing. If I cut a leg off a live animal, am I allowed to eat it? No, it's Eiver min achai. Then I shech the mother. Am I allowed to eat the leg? No. Once it's Eiver min achai, it's Eiver min achai. I cut the kidney of the mother. It doesn't come out to the world. It's in the mother's stomach. Am I allowed to eat it at this moment? No, it's Eiver min achai. So just because I shechted the mother 5 minutes later doesn't make the kidney mutter. The kidney is awesome. Oh. But if I cut the leg of the animal and it remains inside, now it's in the animal. It's no different than the animal itself. It's no different than the baby animal. The fetus, Yemaskim, is mutter through the shechita of the mother. So too, its dangling leg is mutter through the shechita of the mother. It's not the mother's aver. It's the baby's aver. So there's no difference. It's one or two. Any aver that's in there, it's murder. Zaklal, this is the rule. Davar shegufa, if it's part of the mother and you cut it and it stays in there, asur. V'she'eina gufa, but if it's not part of the mother, then it's mutter. Here we have a very geschmacky video. Azriel, who just turned 10, who you don't know, you guys don't know. Those who didn't watch don't know, but he's here now, so I'll say it again. I said it 5 times, I'm gonna say it again. It's a chizuk. He was up for twice. He was up till 2 in the morning to watch the shiur. But twice. He watched the Hebrew and the English 2 in the morning, and then he did it miss Shachris. Afterwards, he got up for the Shachris at 8:30, and he's 10 years old. It's a chizuk for everybody. So this is a video for you to explain the whole sugya. Stuck its head out. Its hand out. So after the shechita, the baby's a mutter, but the leg that they stuck out is not so mutter, or maybe it is. They pulled it back in. So first of all, let me say a couple Shalom Aleichem to the new guys. What's your name? You've been here.
Yes.
Many times. What's your name? Oh, that's right. Okay, we just relate. And your name? What's your name? You've been here yesterday. And you? You know this guy? Get out! Whoever knows him, get out! Shalom Aleichem.
Switch to more yeshiva school so you can start.
Really? Who else is new here that wants to say Shalom Aleichem? Anybody? Anybody? Oh, you. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Shalom. What? It's first time. First time you slept in here? Really? Yeah, you got some good ones. That guy from the steakhouse is your guy. Didn't you say he's going to come here to show and make a whole siyum? Then he goes to Los Angeles and makes a siyum?
He's gonna come.
His first, I forget. It's his first siyum ever.
No.
Beautiful.
There, Ari class in the back.
Oh, we had another one. I don't even know like the difference between this one and that one. We'll wait a few minutes. We'll do another one. Huh?
Chicago, Ari class.
Where? Where's Ari Platt? Ah! Shalom Aleichem, hiding over there. Chicago?
And LA.
So, So I'm going to be in Chicago soon. I'll see you over there, maybe. So I'm trying to build it up from 4 to 5.
We're from Australia.
No way, all three of you.
Yes, all three of us. And
Wow.
We're actually,
Shalom Aleichem, how you doing? Yeah?
we're actually good friends with the rabbi to which you referred, Rabbi Meir Rabbi, who's the Ben Bakua in Australia.
Oh, really?
The guy that,
You know about this whole story. It's a real story.
it's a real story.
It's a kiss from Hashem that he came today.
Oh, really? And
What's the guy's name?
Rabbi Meir Rabbi.
And he tried to make this whole Ben Bakua stuff.
He did, and I remember the Rav spoke, I think it was Daf Lamed,
Yeah,
in this Masechta, as in.
like almost a month ago.
And he spoke, I was going to show it to Rabbi Rabbi, but I never got it.
And now you have no choice.
I'm
No.
going to show it.
Okay, good. He's jumping around. He's saying, no, that's not what happened exactly. You have to do it like this, like that. I want to know all the details. Good. By the way, where in the Torah do we have something like in this Mishnah? You're a guest, are you? Peretz and Zarach. That's right. Peretz stuck its hand out and they wrapped the thing, then they put his hand back in.
They're going to consider you good after the hand comes in.
Maybe yeah, maybe not. I don't know. No. It was a mistake over there. All right. Says the Gemara. This is today's sugya right over here. The question that I asked you in the Mishnah. Omar Rav Yehuda Omar Rav. Comes Rav and says, Ve'ever atzmoi aser. The hand that stuck out the window and pulled it back in, you're not allowed to eat that hand. You're allowed to eat the entire animal, but not the hand. My taima. The Amar Crow, Basar Basada Treifa Loisechelu. The Pasuk says, do not eat the treifa. But there's an interesting word in the pasuk. What it should say is, if you were to write it, you would write ubasar treifa lo yisichelu. Meat that's treif, don't eat. What's basar basada? Basada. Basada is a place, a field, doesn't have any walls, doesn't have any mechitzas. And the Torah tells us, kivin shiyatza basar chutz mechitzasai nesar. Once the meat, it goes out of its mechitza, like by us, it went out of the mechitza of the mother, Nesar, you're not allowed to eat it forever. Treifa, you can't undo, you can't retroactive something that's treif. If it's treif, it's treif. You can't say, oh, but I did this and this and I fixed it and it's not treif anymore. So once it goes out of the mechitza, just real quickly, there are two animals in Mitzrayim that did a very special thing and they got rewarded. What? The frogs and the dogs. All treif we give to the dog. Why? Because he was quiet when we came out. But the frog, what was the award for the frog? Got to live another day. But not for generations. We don't reward them for all the generations. It's a one-time deal that they got to live. They came out alive from that whole situation. The question is why? Why dogs? They say, because it's harder to keep your mouth shut, like a dog, like dogs were quiet, than to put yourself in an oven. Zok the Gemara. Tanan. Ask the Gemara a question on Rav. We're going to try to beat up Rav here and see if he holds strong, and he does. The ones who argue with Rav, they lose. Again, what does Rav say? We have an animal in the stomach. If you shech the mother, you're allowed to eat the entire baby. But if the baby sticks its foot out and brings it back in, you're not permitted to eat that foot, ever. Even if it's stuck, it brought it back in. The problem is, let's see if it fits in the Mishnah. It says in our Mishnah, the baby stuck its hand out and brought it back in. Mutar b'achila, you're allowed to eat it. My love, what do you mean mutar b'achila? It's talking about the foot. That's the regular way of reading it. Mutar b'achila, that thing that it stuck out and brought back in, you're allowed to eat? No, we're talking about my love, is talking about the foot. Lo ya'uber, we're talking about the actual baby, but the foot you're not allowed to eat. So the Gemara says, I knew you were going to tell me that, but I had a question. But if you're referring to the baby, so why does the Mishnah say he brought the foot back in? Even if the foot remained outside, nothing changes in the halacha. You're allowed to eat the mother, the baby, and you're not allowed to eat the baby's leg. Why does it say that it brought its leg back in? What difference does it make? Says the Gemara, you're 100% right. There's no difference whatsoever. It doesn't make a difference if it brought its leg back in, you didn't bring the leg back in, you're not allowed to eat that leg, that hand. The second case in the Mishnah that's referring to the head of the animal. Once the head is born, the whole animal is born. And the shechita doesn't help. Even if the animal brings its head back in, over there is a chiddush by the head. Memela, it says a non-chiddush by the hand. You're right, there's zero chiddush. We don't have to say it brought its hand back in. There's no difference if the hand, but we want the Mishnah to be symmetrical. And the second part of the Mishnah is a very nice chiddush. Even though the animal brings its head back into the mother, the shechit of the mother doesn't work on the baby. Why? Because once the head is born, the whole animal is born. Once the animal is born, you can't take an animal that's born and shove it back into its mother and say, oh, the shechita should work. It doesn't work. The animal is born. So there's zero chiddush on the hand. Now, let me ask you a question. If there's zero chiddush on the head, does it make sense? No. Zero chiddush on the hand, zero chiddush on the head. Then what's going on in this Mishnah? Why do I need a Mishnah for? And that's the Gemara's question now. There's no chiddush on the head. Why? Because I see it in two other Mishnayos. That same halacha. That once the head is born, the whole animal is born.
Before you get to the Seifa, why don't you say that there's a chiddush in the hand? That it's a bigger chiddush to say, even though you brought it back in, you can't eat it, as opposed to saying you left it out and you can't eat it. Left it out, you can't eat it right here. I brought it back in, you still can't eat it. Once you get to the Seifa, then you say, okay, I don't need the ratio, because if the head, you can't eat, kosher can in the hand. But
you're saying just the...
Before you get to the Seifa...
No, but time out. I hear what you're saying. You're asking very nicely. But if the Mishnah would have asked, I'm serious, I think what you're asking is a good question, but if the Mishnah would have just said one thing, once the hand goes out, you can't eat it. So I wouldn't say, oh, but if it brought it in, it went out, Shalom Yisrael, it's done. Because that's the lashon of the Mishnah. The hand goes out, asur le'echol yad. So I would know, you bring it back in, do this, twist it and bring it back in. It doesn't matter, it says asur. Once it goes out, I would know right away it's asur.
Because you would think the reason why it's out, so it's not part of
That's what he's asking. That's what he's asking. You're asking this question. I hear. Good question. Says the Gemara, let's show this because there's a bunch of kids here, and this is even the adults that are kids. The adults don't need to watch this, but still gishmak. Because, look, I asked the question. How is it possible you have an animal walking around that you shecht? Actually, you don't even shecht. You're allowed to eat it, but you're not allowed to eat the left leg. Only the whole animal besides the left. The answer is because while it was in the mother's stomach, it stuck its left leg out. So you're allowed to, did I say shecht? Maybe I ruined the whole thing if I said shecht, but here we go. Only the leg came out. Why don't I eat the whole thing besides the leg?
Hey, what are you doing? You are flashing!
Azriel understood the whole sugya now. Okay, Zokti Gemara. So again, we're discussing this leg that went out, came back in. What's the chiddush in the head? Head was born, so you're not allowed to eat the entire fetus, even if it brings the head back out. What's the chiddush? The kivin, the yatzarosh, you have a leda. Once that came out, it's considered a birth. Tanino, that also we learned. Oh, so let me just be magdim. Super interesting halachas today, I'm serious. When it comes to a b'char, there's two types of b'chars. There's a b'char. What halachas does a b'char have? Think about it. What's special about a b'char? Two things. First of all, everybody knows. It gets two times, a second chelik in the Yerusha. That's all you guys care about. If you're not a b'char, you care about your older brother that he's going to get, yeah. And there's another thing. When he's born, you have to do Pidyon Haben. There's two very, very big nafkaminas between the two. Pidyon Haben has to do with the mother's first child. So sometimes you go to, you see a person has a baby, oh, mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, you go to the bris, the whole thing, and then you wonder to yourself, how come there's no Pidyon Haben? Could be a number of reasons. Either it's the wife is a kohen, but you know the wife very well. I mean, she's your sister or whatever. You're like, I'm not a kohen, she's not either a kohen. So what's going on there? How come there's no Pidyon Haben today? C-section. There's no C-section. It's very possible that she had a miscarriage. And a miscarriage makes the other kid that she had a second kid. To know, 1 month, this, that, you go ask your Rabbanim. Somebody just asked me recently, do I have to make opinion? I said, don't, what do you, I do, I'm a Daf Yomi guy, I give shir. Go ask your local rabbi. Ma'aseh Shai, just like in the last 2 months or whatever. So, but when it comes to Yerusha, it's a little different. Very different. Yerusha, who gets? Reishis Oinai. Reishis Oinai. So we learn in the Gemara, Reishis Oinai means the one that the father would have a lot of tsar if he dies. And when there's a miscarriage, the father doesn't have that amount of pain. Therefore, the miscarriage doesn't affect the Yerusha. So even if he's considered second for Pidyon Haben, he's considered first for the Yerusha. He gets 2 parts Yerusha. So you can't go and say, by the Yerusha fight, you can't say, oh, but he didn't have a Pidyon Haben, so he doesn't get 2 parts. No, it has nothing to do with Pidyon Haben. So it says like this, Tanino, but we already learned the halacha that once the head comes out, it's considered a birth. So if that's the case, I don't need it in our Mishnah. If I don't need it in our Mishnah, there's 0 chiddush in our Mishnah. Case number 1 of the hand coming out, he said, is not a chiddush at all. It's really for the second case of the head. But the head is also not a chiddush. Why not? Tanina. It's a riddle. How do you have a b'char for 2 times Yerusha, for a second portion of Yerusha, but he's not for Pidyon Haben, you don't have to pay 5 slime. Haba, achar nefalim. The second kid, who comes after the first child was a nefal, was born, let's say, in the 8th month in the time of the Gemara, some nefal. Even though the nefal, the miscarriage, came out with a live head, ben tisha, or it was a full-term baby, the first one. Shiatza roishe meis, he was delivered dead. His head came out dead. And the Gemara is medayik time of the roishe meis. It's because in the 9th month he came out dead. But if his head was alive, and that's the halacha that we see over here, that a live head, it's considered a birth. The first one was born, even though he might have died later on, he came out, his head was alive. So what do you see? It's all dependent on the head. The head is the birth. And Mamela, why does our Mishnah have to talk about the birth of a head? Oh, you'll tell you, over there we're talking about a human being. The Bechar Lenach is talking about humans. And this Mishnah, Behema, Mikasha, Leila, is talking about an animal. And you can't learn one from the other. Why? I'll tell you why. There's 2 big nafkaminas. If you can't learn a human being from an animal, why? A, they impose the lebehema. If you ever saw, we just showed a video of a zebra giving birth, but not mamish. When an animal when it gives birth, it's standing up and it's exposed to the world. Any direction that you look at it, you'll see the birth. By a human being, the thighs cover the birth from certain angles. So it's maybe the birth of the head is not considered a real birth, didn't come into the world. Not everybody could see it. We're not talking about, in Masechtas Nida, we're going to learn about proizdor, which is referring to a pipe inside the woman's body. Over here, we're not talking about inside, we're talking about outside her body. There's a proizdor. We're talking about the thighs. So once the head is born, if you're standing from the side, you won't see anything. And Mamela is not considered a birth. And another reason you can't learn an animal from a human, the chashiv parts of parim today, we know for a fact, every 2 days, or every day, Be'ezer Hashem, some of the terrorists from the Nukhba, they suddenly, a missile hits them somewhere in Gaza. What happened? These shaitim, they're running around on social media with, oh, look what I did, I attacked the tank, I did this. So they have their faces, facial recognition, wherever they are. They know exactly where every single one of them is, and Be'ez Hashem, they're all going to go bye-bye. Why? Because a human being, there's not a single face that resembles another face. Every face is different. We probably, though, I don't know, look it up. I'm sure there are other animals like monkeys or whatever that have a similar kind of thing, but like human beings, that everyone is so unique. The hair color and the cheeks and the eyes and everything is different about every single human being. So Mela, when a human being is born, it's a birth. Oh, his head. I can recognize him right away. It's different. I mean, all human beings, when they're born, they basically look like aliens. That's a different story. But they're different. An animal, a cow's born, you can't say, oh, there's a birth. This head looks exactly like the other cow. So Mela, the Choshev part of the day. Nami Tanino. So the Gemara says that Chiddush I also learned. So anyways, this is no Chiddush in a head. Why? It says Shil Yesh Yatsa Miktsasa Asura Ba'achila. So you have the amniotic sac that the baby sits in, spends its pregnancy in. If a little part of that sac comes out, we're concerned that there used to be a baby in there. It got dissolved. And what are we concerned? We're concerned that there was a head. In the little part that came out, there's a head that got dissolved. So once again, we see that the head is considered the birth. And Memeli, you're not allowed to eat this amniotic sac, because again, we're concerned about the head. Just like by a woman, we're concerned about a dissolved baby, so too by the animal, but the point is the head. So we already see that the birth of a head is what counts. And then the Gemara goes on with the question. Here's the question. Just about peh. Once again, we asked, why does it say that the animal stuck its hand out, brought the hand back in? The Gemara says, you're right. There's no chiddush at all. What's the chiddush? In the head. Head out, head in, big chiddush. Ask the Gemara, not a chiddush. I have two mishnayos that tell me the same thing already. The birth of the head is the birth. So then what's the chiddush in our mishnah? It's not the head part. So what is it? The hand, it's not the hand part. So what is it? Why do we have it? If you tell me there's a big chiddush in the hand, that what? Say that what? That you're allowed to eat the hand. Once the hand goes out and comes back in, there's a major chiddush. You're allowed to eat the hand, not like Rav. Like we're going to see Ula and Amid Beis. That's great. Now I have a chiddush in the Mishnah. Don't say Fatu Reisha. So that's why, even though there's no chiddush in the head, I'm saying it because of the hand. Eliyam is loy the Reisha dafka v'loy the Sefer dafka. If you tell me there's zero chiddush in the hand and there's zero chiddush in the head, so what's the point of this whole Mishnah? Says the Gemara loy, not the point of the whole Mishnah, but the point of that bringing it back in part. Loy lama ubar. There is a major chiddush here. We're talking about that you're allowed to eat the actual animal itself, the baby. And we're going to see this 3 times today. He's going to say on Amid Beis, the Mokum Chatoch, which is the place of the cut. What happened? An animal sticks its hand out. Comes the owner, sees his animal struggling in his birth. He takes a knife, chops the hand right off. You have the part of the hand that's cut. By the cut, it's at the surface, at the opening of the animal. It's not outside and it's not inside. It's right there by the surface. If the hand was outside, it would be usher to eat. If the hand is inside, it would be mutter to eat. It's nishtahin and nishtaher, they say in Yiddish. Yo, nishtahin and nishtaher. Or like my friend says, nishtahin and nishtahin. Okay? So hold on a second. So now this part is not outside, not inside. Major chiddush, that if it pulls its hand back in, you're mutter to eat it with the shchita. Nachamal. Big chiddush. That area that's on the entrance of the animal, if it was outside, also. If it's inside, mutter. But it's not inside, not outside. If the animal's outside completely and it came back in, not mutter to eat. If it was in, no chiddush at all. The chiddush is that part, the mokum chatoch of the part. Now we're going to have this 3 times in a row, so remember. You're allowed, only if the animal pulls it completely back in, it's a big chiddush, you're allowed to eat it. Tashma. Because it's in between. It's parav, and parav you're allowed to.
Not because it has mechitzas? Not because it has mechitzas?
It doesn't have mechitzas at this point. At this point, it doesn't have mechitzas.
Why would it be back in?
Oh, after, but that's a chiddush.
If it stayed out. Why is it also if it stayed out? If the hand stayed out, why is it?
Because it's not in. Because it's not in. It's not in. It's not in.
Then it doesn't have mechitzas.
It's not in, but it's not out. But it's not in. You can't eat it because it's not in. But if I pull it in, then it's in. And it's not that it was out and I pulled it in. I pulled it in.
No, some people need a handout because it's so hard to get a head these days.
Oh. No, you missed it. Some people need a handout because it's so hard to get ahead these days. I want to know how much of the shir did you miss to come up with that. Tashma. Behema mikasha leile. So now we go our Mishnah. And it's not our Mishnah. It's a brayso, but it has a lot of similarities to our Mishnah. Behema mikasha leile. An animal is having difficulty giving birth. It stuck its hand out and pulled it back in. Then it checked the mother. Mutter ba'achila. So we have the same question. What's mutter, the hand or the whole animal? But we're going to try to prove it from the rest. But if you shechted the mother and then it decided to pull its hand back in, of course, also b'achila. Why is it also b'achila? It's Eiver Menachai. That piece that came back in, it's not okay. It stuck its hand out and you cut it off. And you shechted the mother. The hand that you cut off is tamei. Why is it tamei? It's an avela. It's a dead animal that never had shchita. Dead animals that don't have shchita. Nachamol. A cow that dies without shchita is an avela. A cat that dies without a shchita is an avela. A snake that dies without anything is not metama. Why? Because the sheretz it's not from the Shmoyne Shrotzim. If it stuck out its hand and you cut it back, it's an avela of aser and every menachai. It never got a shchita. And that is inside the animal. In other words, the entire fetus that's inside tar umuter, you're allowed to eat it. Here's a moyer the shochat this imoy. You shechted the mother. And then you cut off that foot, that hand that was sticking out. Listen to this chiddush. Daf Sam Chesam Beis. Habasar magen avela. The meat touched the nevela. Why? The foot that's outside is not part of the animal. It's not part of the shechita. That we said is a nevela. That is Eiver Menachai. And guess what? Eiver Menachai, nevela. What tum is nevela? The highest that an animal could be, avatuma. Anything we know, anything that touches tuma goes down one level. So if meat, good kosher meat, which is the fetus, touches this Eiver Menachai part, this foot, the foot is avatuma. What's this over here? Rishon. It jumps down one madrega. It becomes tamei, the tama other mekalim. No, not food, other food. It's matama food. Habasar magen avela. It touched the Eiver Menachai part and becomes tamei. That's not important for us. No, it only touched a treifa, which was shechted. So it's more negat to kachim. Akopanim k'tani mia, but it says. It said in the beginning, stuck his hand out and then you shechted the mother, mutar b'achila, you're allowed to eat it. My lav ha'ever. Now we're going to go through the motions here. What are we talking about? We're talking about what are you allowed to eat? You're allowed to eat the foot, the hand. We're talking about the actual fetus. Ubar. But if we're talking about the uber, seriously. Talking about uber. So there's a guy, I have to say a tremendous akar satayv. There's a guy, I don't know who he is. Maybe I do know who he is, but he doesn't tell me his name. I don't know anything. I try to say thank you to him. He doesn't say, no, you can't say my name. And I try to say his comment. Every time I go somewhere from Eretz Yisrael, he sends a special van, a nice dark black, one of those fancy vans, and he gives me that service that you go through. He has a company that does it. I don't know how many companies there are. Maybe there's only one, so I just set it out. I have to give him a akar satayv. Thank you very much for hooking me up. I come back to Israel, the guy's waiting with a sign. He He doesn't take any money. That's his company, but it still costs some money to do. Taxi, back, forth, the whole thing. Whoever you are. I wish I knew who he was. I probably do. Maybe sitting in this room. Who knows? Says the Gemara. There. Okay, Yishkoyach. HYK services. Anybody need a... How you doing, Sadiq? You okay? Okay, fine. Don't call Hill if you need some financial advice. Okay, if we're talking about an Uber, Ema Seifa. You saw how my brain works? I'm thinking about an Uber here, like a taxi. Uber, Ema Seifa. Shochat this imoi v'achkach ziroi also b'achila. Now, it can't be we're talking about a baby here, because everything has to be consistent. So we're talking about the baby and not the hand. So the whole mission is the baby. Now, what happened in the second part? Ema Seifa, shachat this imoi, you shechted the mother, v'achkach ziroi, and then it brought its hand back in. Also b'achila. We're talking about the Uber. We're talking about the fetus. What's also b'achila? The Uber, am I aser? Why in the world would the baby become aser if it brought its hand back in? What, the rest of the baby is also aser? You're right. We're not talking about either. We're not talking about the baby. We're not talking about its hand. We're talking about one part of it, the part that's at the border, and it's not inside, it's not outside. If it pulls it back in, it's mutter. Turning of the Daf, Adar Global, the official non-corporate sponsor of the MDY League. What does that mean? Can you explain to me for a second?
You can't have corporate sponsors.
The non-corporate sponsor of the MDY League. Encore Healthcare as a schus for all of Klal Yisrael. I didn't say you can't have corporate sponsors. You just have to pay $100,000 to be one. Lamashal. Here, take a look. Here's a corporate sponsor. It's on the screen. Good morning, Rabbi. Say, no more copier headaches. E-copier. He's the only corporate sponsor. He spent $120,000 a year to do that. Zog to Gemara. Hold on a second. Eini. I'm looking around. Does anybody have a Gemara without Nekudas? You're a good reader. Here, read from this side, the other side. Don't log. You don't want to do it. Anybody want? Mayor Dambi is Israeli American. Ma? No, look in the other side. Look in the other side, and read. Parsa from there. Read loud. 10 lines down. Yeah. No, Parsa Chazer. No. It doesn't work on anybody. Okay. I thought without Nekudas you read the Parsa Chazer Echol. If it's the foot of a Chazer should eat. Okay, good. You're a good reader. Very good. So listen to this. Avimi comes from Chazai. What does he bring? Usually a good uncle from America brings toys and cash. He brings a brisa. I have a brisa for the oilam. Here's a brisa. Parsa hechzir achoil. Parsa is hechzir achoil. Basically, he says these two words in the pasuk, parsa and prosos. It says twice. V'chol beim my first parsa. Any animal that has split hooves, parsa is 1, prosos is 2. Let's learn something from it. That if it stuck its hand out, the parsa hechzir brought it back in echol, you could eat it. Parsa is hechzir echol, and if he brought it back in, you could eat it. The same thing basically twice. 2 feet came out, you could eat it. 1 foot came out, you could eat it. My love, hechzir parsa echol, parsa. L'chayra, same discussion that we're having up until now. Hand goes out, hand comes back in. You could eat what? Not the rest of the fetus. The hand itself. Loi. Hechzer parsa echol uber. You're allowed to eat the fetus, not the hand. Asking Gemara, uber ma'iri hechzer. The same question we had in the Mishnah. So then why does it say that he brought it back in? Afilu hechzer nami. Here's Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman Yitzchak le'nitzchak le'mogim chatok. We're talking about that area that's not inside the animal, it's not outside the animal, it's at the opening of the animal. And if it pulls it back in, then you're allowed to eat it after you shech the mother. Ask the Gemara, yes, I get it all. I heard this before, but V'trei kroi kanasivla. You bringing me 2 psukim, paras and prasois. L'chayra, there's one extra here. My love, chad la'ever v'chad la'mokim chatach. Mokim chatach, okay, use the word parsa. But what about the aver itself? What about the foot itself? Maybe I can learn from the word prasois. Says Gemara, you're 100% right. You do learn 2 things from the 2 words, but different than you want to do. One, I'm going to use up for what, like you said. But one, check this out. If a cow gives birth to something like this, it's a camel. Very good, Israel. A camel. But take a look at its feet. It's born from a cow, but it has tray feet. It doesn't have mafresh paras. It doesn't go through and through. It has exactly what a camel looks like. It has like these 2 giant toes. You allowed to eat this or not allowed to eat it? It was born from a cow, 2 cows, father and mother. Just it came out weird. Allowed to eat it or not allowed to eat it? So you're not allowed to eat it. But, according to Rabbi Shimon, but in utero, if you shech the mother and it's in there and you find it like that, you're allowed to eat it. That's the second pasuk prasois. The what? V'chad l'kol b'mei para. V'aliba de Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon says, kol ben para asur. If a camel comes out and doesn't have mafresh paras, so also you're not allowed to eat it. Because it was born. If you shech the mother and you have a baby in there with no mafresh paras, sure, you're allowed to eat it. Gishmak. And now we have the opposing shita to Rav, and this is going to disappear real quickly. Ula Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rav was the Goladar where in Bavel. Rabbi Yochanan was his contemporary, lived in the same time, was in Eretz Yisrael. Rav was slightly older, he's considered a Tana. Rabbi Yochanan is not considered a Tana. But Rabbi Yochanan was the Goladar in Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Yochanan argues, and he says, if a cow, while it's giving birth, it's not important, giving birth, not, while she's pregnant, the baby sticks its hand out and pulls the hand back in, says, Ula, you're allowed to eat the hand if you shech the cow mother and the baby's inside still. Ve'ver atzmoi muter, says Rabbi Yochanan. You're allowed to eat the hand. I argue on Rab. So, I was just thinking to myself, in the nothing but the daf, those 10 seconds are going to be cut out, Bezer Hashem. Of me trying to get that drink. But I understand.
So all your explanation of those 10 seconds.
Correct. They won't even see how good the nothing but the daf is. There's a guy, I saw this video, couldn't believe it. It just hit me again. He's been with us since B'chairis. He's number 18 on YouTube. The 18th person on YouTube. Today, I don't know how many we have, 35,000 or something. I didn't check in a while, but somewhere there. Number 8, so he's doing a siyum with us. He's one of the first people doing a siyum Shas. The entire cycle with us from almost day 1. But he sticks in, he goes, and now I do nothing but the daf. Had enough of your jokes, enough, I know them all. The emails don't, I do nothing but the daf. Okay.
37,700.
Huh?
37,700.
37,700. We're pushing, maybe by the Siyum Shas we'll have 50. Yeah. Okay, so, says Rav Yehuda Lula, how could you argue? I'm just thinking now, yeah? Rav and Shmuel always argue. And all of a sudden, Rav and Shmuel are together on this. They don't argue. They say, what if the animal pulls its hand back, this is today's sugya, you can't eat the hand. How could you go and argue on them? There's a Gemara, I forgot where it is, that says that they used to go to Rav's cave and take some of that, the dirt from the cave and put in their eyes. Gemara says, on both of them, they're so chashuv. I hold to them oilamus. I'm going to take the dirt, put it in my eye, blind myself with it. That's how kaddish they are. I wish I could have some dirt from the caver and put it in my eye. But what am I going to do? Halacha is halacha. After the Rav Shmuel Malina Neina, I'll put it in my eye. But Rabbi Yochanan said, everything was in the general rule. Basar basar trei v'lo yisechelu. shouldn't eat meat that's treifa from the field. What does it mean, hakol? Whether it's kachim kalim, whether it's a chatas, a oila, or a shlamim, or a toida. That whole parsha with Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron HaKohen, why did you burn that chatas? And he tells him, did it go out? If it went out, I understand why you burned it. It didn't go out. What does it mean it didn't go out? If it went outside of the Hazara, the Beis HaMikdash for a second, you're not allowed to bring it back in. Once it went out, it's gone. So chatas with the part of Rahman Abba, only one time did the Torah say on some item, if it goes out, it can't come back in. Avakol milik, even the hadashari, but all other things in the Torah, like a hand that went out of an animal, came back in, it should be okay. Meisvei asked the Gemara, Basa basal trevel isachelu, matam aloymar. What is it coming to tell us? Oh, so now the Gemara jumps to another sugya completely. Somebody has a bunch of produce, he has to take 10% of it and bring it to Yerushalayim and eat it in Yerushalayim. And Bikurim, his first fruit, he brings to Yerushalayim, eats it only in Yerushalayim. If you take Meiser Sheini fruit and you bring it into Yerushalayim, then you take it outside Yerushalayim and bring it back to Bet Shemesh. You're allowed to bring it back to Yerushalayim, there's no problem. Yochalav Zeke, and I would think so too by the fetus. Stuck his hand out. Could bring his hand back in. Shech the mother, the hand's okay. I would think like Ula, that it's okay. Talmud Lema Treifa. No, it's like Rav and Shmuel. It's Treifa, you're not allowed to. My Talmud, where do you see it in the word Treifa? In the word, this Basta says Treifa. O Marabba Kit Treifa. You treat it like a Treifa. Ma Treifa, Kivin Shenitrifa, Shuvein Laheter. When it comes to a treifa, there's no backseas. You can't retroactive do something to apply a new rule to what you have now. Right now it's treifa, it's aser, finish. You can't undo that. Shuvein later, so to the meat. Once it goes out of its boundaries, it went out of the mother. Shuvein laheter, even if you brought it back in, it's aser here, mefurish, not like you ula. Tiyufta the ula, tiyufta, we have a bomb question on ula. Omar Mar, we just learned, where do you see that you're allowed to bring it back in? Not in Yerushalayim, in Bet Shemesh, once it goes out of, even if you bring it back into Yerushalayim, it's 100% mutar. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.